Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. If we can just make sure that the sound is good. Hi, middag, good afternoon. Hi Warren, hi Ruth. Welcome to the many Double O Days channel members here. Hi Shelly. It's going to be interesting revelation and discussion. Hi Mari, hi Sue. So we had just over 100 people waiting, and now I see that it's dropped down. It's back up again to over 100. I don't know how that works, but welcome to all of you. And there's something very important that we need to discuss today. I was just at a meeting of a group of Omis at the Magic Forest in Durbanville with my family. So I've got a bit of a face tan, and we had to leave there because there's still many people there. So that I can be here in time for the live stream. So I really had to rush to get back. Okay, Alvin, thanks. The sound is good. Okay, awesome. I really want to get started straight away. And the one thing that I need to first say to you is two things. Familiarity breeds contempt. And the next thing I want to say to you is nothing is as it seems. Nothing is as it seems. And there's many things I can say to qualify that. And I don't want to get into the detail of that right now. But what I want you to do is just think about that. Those two statements, familiarity breeds contempt. It's something my father said a lot to me, even as a young boy. And it rings so true when you actually understand the meaning behind it. And the other thing is that nothing is what it seems, because if you don't perceive something for what it actually is, it is not what it seems. It's not that someone is trying to hide something from you or anything like that. Your perception of something can be so distorted and warped because of indoctrination that you can't actually see it for what it is. So those two things are important things to know. We have over 250 people viewing now. Welcome here. So we were a large group of Omis gathered, probably close on 40 Omis gathered together. One of the OM members organized this, and Lauren said that it's happening today at 11. So we're into and enjoy that with the other people in nature. It was really awesome. And now we need to discuss something that I find not only disturbing but very revealing. And I want to discuss it with you for one simple reason. If we do not comprehend or understand these statements and the implications behind them, then you will not understand why I've said many things with regards to the world elites that will actually bring the entire extinction of humanity to reality. And I've spoken about this at length, and I can't divulge plainly in a public forum like this what I mean. I have in-depth discussions with individuals on this to a degree. However, in a public forum, to do that, the one thing I do is put out information that those that do the necessary research and get the necessary understanding and watch all the videos and contexts on the channel, once the penny drops, you will understand. So I don't leave anything out. It's all there for you to discover. It's in my videos. If you know where to look, many people have come to me and said, I've gone and watched the Moments in Time series again. I've gone and watched the Question Everything series again. And now it snapped into place. Now I understand. So please, if you have not yet already, go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series. That is where this channel started, and that is what this channel was built on. We have over 300 people watching now. I really want to thank you for tuning in. So let's get started. You saw the picture of Bill Gates on the thumbnail for this video, and that's what this video is about. Normally, I would have done a normal in the news video on this, but this specific situation around Bill Gates, what he said in the world context, the context he did it in, who actually put the news out there, is extremely relevant to what is happening in the world right now and how things are playing out. Those of you that are channel members will all know that Bill Gates is a member of the Committee of 300. And because he's a committee member, he would be privy to information just like my father had back in the 80s. And he can then apply his conscience to that information depending on what he believes as a person. And that might change over time. So this specific article is from Sky News, and the reason why I use Sky News speaking about this is the fact that they appear to be people that gives a counter narrative to what is considered the woke left mainstream media. And I need you to understand that both sides are being controlled. This is the first thing I have to tell you. So if you don't understand that both sides are being controlled, and Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox News, for instance, is a committee of 300 member, then you understand nothing. So to not understand how narratives are being controlled makes it difficult for you to form a proper picture of what is happening. So I don't take articles like this one I will be speaking about now at face value. I look at what it means. The fact that they decided to put it out in Sky News, the way they decided to put it out, says a lot. And the headline for this article says Microsoft founder Bill Gates warns of bioterrorist attacks and urges world leaders to use germ games to prepare in an interview with Jeremy Hunt. Okay? So this is Bill Gates telling the people of the world and urging world leaders, not government leaders. Listen to what he's saying. World leaders. Very different to saying the leader of the government of South Africa or Uganda or Tasmania or whatever. World leaders. What does this mean? He is speaking to the committee of 300. He's not speaking to governments. Okay, this is key, which tells you his position with regards to that committee at the moment. He's fallen out of favor for many reasons, and we can discuss that later. So he's telling them to use germ games to prepare in an interview with Jeremy Hunt. And he's talking about bioterrorist attacks. Okay? Now, when he says this, you need to take him seriously. This is not information he's putting out there because it's convenient or it's a narrative that he wants to drive. He is warning people in this instance. And there's many reasons why I can say that. Okay, let me continue. Bill Gates, who is the fourth richest man in the world, said tens of billions will need to be spent in research and development to prepare for the next pandemic. Okay, now when he says things like that, you need to take him seriously. Okay, very seriously. He is telling you what is coming. And anyone that takes this with a pinch of salt will live with the consequences one day. Remember, I've spoken to you about the cry wolf situation, where you create this pandemic that doesn't seem as bad as it is. You make it out to be the worst thing in the world. You make all these puppets in governments around the world go absolutely ape because of it, even when it might seem to most people to not be as bad. And then you unleash something on the world that is far worse. And what will most people do? Not take it seriously. And wow, we have a record amount of people watching now. We have over 400 people watching. It's important to understand that people will then think that something happening in future is not going to be as bad. It's just fear-mongering or scaremongering. What did my father say clearly? He said clearly that a virus would be released that will kill only the sickly people. Hy het gesê 'n virus sal losgelaat word wat die sieklike mense sal doodmaak. That is what he said in Afrikaans to me, because he did it in Afrikaans. He said the world will be placed under house arrest. He said this to me in 2004, 16 years before this started happening. The entire world will be placed under house arrest. So die wêreld sal onder huisarrest gesit word. The other thing he said is that there would be no vaccine for this virus. Daar sal geen vaksine vir die virus wees nie. The other thing that he said is there will be a 2-year cool-off period where everyone will get on top of things again and feel like they're on top of the world financially and things are getting back to normal, after which something will be released that'll wipe out most of the world's population. And I'm not saying that he was right or that he is right. I'm telling you what he told me. I have to tell you because I cannot ignore the fact that he said this tied in with what Bill Gates is saying specifically in this article. And I continue. So he is saying here, and I need to go over that again. He warns of bioterrorist attacks and urges the world leaders, once again, this is not government leaders. The world leaders here he's speaking of is committee of 300 members to use germ games to prepare for these bioterrorist attacks. So what does this mean? The founder of Microsoft has warned of bioterrorist attacks and has urged world leaders to use germ games to prepare for them. Bill Gates said governments must get ready for future pandemics and smallpox terror attacks by investing billions in research and development. Now, he might have all sorts of intentions in this, and I'm not trying to read into that. What you need to focus on is what he's warning you against. Because when he is saying this, he already knows that it's being planned. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know. During a sit-down interview with Chair of the Health Select Committee, Jeremy Hunt, for the think tank Policy Exchange, Mr. Gates suggested germ games could be used to practice how to respond to such events. He also called for the formation of a new billion-dollar World Health Organization pandemic task force. So this is him saying that the World Health Organization needs to be bolstered, that they need to be made stronger, that there needs to be this task force put in place to deal with this, which empowers many people. It empowers many people to do things to your freedom that you can never imagine. Let me continue. And I quote, it'll take probably about $1 billion a year for a pandemic task force at the World Health Organization level, which is doing the surveillance and actual doing what I call germ games, where you practice, he said. Surveillance and actual doing what I call germ games, where you practice, he said. Just start to think what that means, okay? I told you about the monitoring, tracking, and tracing. That is the main aim of the pandemic, nothing else. People are getting distracted with all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, it's Bill Gates spelling it out for you. You say, okay, what if a bioterrorist brought smallpox to 10 airports? You know, how would the world respond to that? Okay? There's naturally caused epidemics and bioterrorism caused epidemics. Listen to what he's saying. There are naturally caused epidemics and bioterrorism caused epidemics that could even be way worse than what we experience today. And yet, the advances in medical science should give us tools that we could do dramatically better. Now, that is a very pie in the sky statement, doesn't really mean much, but what he's doing is he's letting a cat out of the bag. He himself is telling you what is being planned, and this is what is significant. I continue, and I quote him. So you'd think this would be a priority. The next year will be where those allocations have to get made, including this global pandemic task force. So he is dictating to the World Health Organization what they should have to do to combat these possible events. He added that countries such as the US and the UK will have to spend tens of billions on research and development to prepare for the next pandemic. So what he is telling you is that the next pandemic is going to be far worse. Okay, he's telling you this already. Is he warning us? What is he trying to do? What purpose does it serve for him to say something like that? What purpose does it serve him to say something like that if it's not going to happen? He has told us exactly what would happen in future, irrespective of whether it's benevolent or not. He has said exactly what will happen. But he said that while research may be expensive, it could lead to other innovations, such as eradicating the flu and the common cold. What he's telling you is they actually have ways of doing this a long time ago, but haven't used it yet. That they will only bring that into place so that it's easier to bring a new world order into place where people beg for certain things to be put into place so that flu and the common cold ceases to exist. Have you wondered why cases have dropped off drastically during the past year and a bit? I'm hoping in 5 years, I'm quoting him again, I can write a book called We Are Ready for the Next Pandemic, but it'll take tens of billions in R&D. The US and the UK will be part of that, Mr. Gates said. He's saying they will be part of that. It's already decided. It's a done deal. The nice thing is a lot of the R&D we need to do to be ready for the next pandemic are things like making vaccines cheap, having big factories, eradicating the flu, getting rid of the common cold, making vaccines just a little patch you put on your arm are things that will be incredibly beneficial even in the years when we don't have pandemics. Even in the years where we don't have pandemics. He's telling you about a future where humanity starts to morph with technology. Let's continue. The world's fourth richest man also said he will continue to talk about pandemic preparedness as part of his work as a philanthropist. So, what he's doing is he's separating himself as the founder of Microsoft and just speaking of himself as a philanthropist. He's making this clear now, where before people still muddled the waters between the two. Mr. Gates said, and I quote, so along with the climate message and the ongoing fight against diseases of the poor, pandemic preparedness is something I'll be talking about a lot. So this is his next mission. He's talking about preparing for pandemics. And I think it'll find fertile ground because, we lost trillions of dollars and millions of lives, and citizens expect their governments not to let that happen again. That is the crux. What he is saying is that citizens have depended on governments to save them from these things. And he's absolutely right. And this is why the organic humanity movement focuses on you taking that power yourself, becoming as self reliant as possible, and preparing for any eventuality. He's telling you here that you are expecting and going to expect your government to fix it for you again. Mr. Gates appeared at the COP26 Climate Summit on Tuesday, where he took part in a session in accelerating clean technology and met the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles. What did Prince Charles tell us? That this pandemic is nothing compared to what is coming. Isn't that what he said? Please go and search for the video on Prince Charles on this channel and listen to what he said in that article. The link is still there. He said that this coronavirus pandemic is nothing. What is coming is far worse. And he included the climate in that. Now, start to link climate to biowarfare. And then you have the perfect mix. Listen again to what I'm saying. Mix climate with biowarfare, and you have the perfect mix. We are being told our future, the plans that have been set out for us, is being laid bare in front of us. And my question simply is, what are we going to do about it? If we don't believe it, then how are we going to deal with it when it happens? This is always what I ask people. I always ask people in February of last year, if I asked you whether it's possible to shut down the entire world, you would have said no. No one would have believed that this would have happened, that people would have given up their freedoms this easily. Here, Bill Gates is telling you straightforward what your future holds. The question is, will people believe him? 2 years ago, he said exactly the same thing. He said even that it will be a respiratory virus. He made it clear, plain and simple. And all the hype and panic that was created around it was there to control humans and their behaviors. Nothing else. It's clear for most people to see that in their minds it's not as bad as people made it out to be. Not even slightly. And this is why we are living in a cry wolf situation, a very dangerous situation. And I want to implore every single one of you watching, we have over 600 people watching now. I want to implore every single one of you to prepare for any eventuality. Take what he says seriously. Just remember one thing. Bill Gates served on the Committee of 300 for many years now. He knows the plans intricately, just like my father could lay it out in detail for South Africa. Please do not make the mistake to go down the road of politicians and influencers within government that will take your freedom away and make you rely on them. Bill Gates here tells you himself that you will again rely on government to help you. He's telling you that. Every person that voted for the top three parties in the country, they are relying on those parties to do everything for them. While I have said and proclaimed openly that things will happen to you that will change your mind, that will lay things bare, that will make you see how the United Nations, together with the World Health Organization, which is a subsidiary, and UNESCO, and UNICEF, and all the other UN organizations will remove all your freedom in the name of so many different things. Believe me, food and water is going to be the least of most people's worries because most people don't even think of food and water. To them, it's an automatic thing. You get water out of the tap and you get food at the shop. It's just a fact of life for most. They can't comprehend that you need electricity to actually pump the water into a reservoir so it can gravity feed your house. If it can't gravity feed your house, it still needs a pump to pump it so that you have pressure to open that tap. They don't consider that. And now I want to address the situation within Eskom. And I want to address the three things that are the greatest threat to destabilization in South Africa. The first one was the Zulu Kingdom. The next one, Eskom. The next one, secession. The three greatest threats to stability in South Africa. Whether you think the ideology is correct or not is irrelevant. It's about what it will do to stability in South Africa. Please listen carefully to what I say. The Zulu Kingdom has already been captured. And if you go and look at the results of the local government elections in KZN, you will see that shift happening. The United Nations is firmly in control in KwaZulu-Natal already. The next thing is for us to absolutely be in a serious energy situation. That is why I've asked people to fill up gas cylinders, to have enough energy sources at home that you can store legally. And you can store gas cylinders at home and use it as a source of energy supply. That is very important. I've told people to have 3 months water and food storage as a minimum and get it as fast as you can. Mine is in place. Or have you got yours in place? Because once you do that, you will have options. Our constitution will not protect you in keeping your job. It is not a right to have a job in this country. And the mandates that will roll out in this month will make the previous mandates look like a Sunday school picnic. I've warned people against this. It will unfold during this month of November. Because I've been told that it will. Even in the Hawks interview, they clearly said November, the serious mandates will be rolled out. So for you to have options, you need to survive. There's 5 things you need for survival. And I'll tie everything back into what Bill Gates said. You need water first, food next, shelter next, energy next, and something to keep you sane. Those are the 5 things you need to invest in. If you have any spare fiat currency, use it for those things that will keep you alive. That is the best advice that I can give you. The next thing to cause destabilization will be secession. Any secession fight, anything that separates people, whether it's a racial classification, cultural classification, religious classification, or segregation on the basis of land or separation of land, it comes out of the Bavarian Illuminati textbook. And you will be used to destabilize your own life. It was always going to be you that will be used. And what Bill Gates is telling you now is that once again, it's going to be you that's going to depend on a government instead of you being the government. Instead of you being the government in your own right, so that you can appoint in a new system a representative, not someone to govern over you, but a representative. You will always be governed over and you will remain a subject to the system that Amschel Rothschild developed many years ago, that is being implemented to a T. And I always tell people, don't believe a word I say. I'm not running for public office or anything like that. There's nothing that I can offer you except information. That's all I have. And you can decide then what you want to do with that information. It's very important to understand. I have been called an Illuminati. I have been called literally someone paid by the Ruperts. I've been called a Mason. I've been called all sorts of things. And I've been called controlled opposition. For opposition to be controlled, okay, you need to either be blackmailed or to be controlled financially. And I can tell you now that no one can control me financially because I've never allowed that in my life. And so there's no financial control that anyone can ever have over me or my wife. And this is why we are such a big threat to their new world order plans. That new order that is being laid out for you and for me. But you see, in South Africa, we don't accept this order easily because we're not ordered. Because we are such a mess and because we are so different. They cannot establish this order amongst us. They are battling with it. And Bill Gates is telling you that you will once again, just like with the local government elections now, go and vote to make sure that you are a slave to your government. He is saying it to you, and people go and do it again. However, a small group of people have risen up and said, no, I will take the punch myself. I will stand up and become a citizen, and I will not bow down to any government. I will become a government in my own right. And there's 6,891 people that made that statement during the last local government elections. And I really want to thank them for making that statement because it's a bold statement to make. It's contrary to everything. These global organizations that control us, these world leaders, as Bill Gates says, that control our lives, that control governments, they can do nothing to individuals that are empowered. It's impossible for them to touch you. Because when there's so many of you, they are disempowered. You don't have to attack them. You can just withdraw from the system that they created and you can create a new reality. So what is Bill Gates saying? That even when you want to create this new reality, we can use biowarfare on you. People will use biowarfare on you. And that the next pandemic will be much worse. He's telling you this. So if you don't want to listen to that, continue living, relying on this current government, on the DA, the EFF, and the ANC. Continue relying on them. Because after the elections now, they will be quiet. They'll put up your rates and taxes. They'll screw you over because you voted for that. And then you must live with the consequences. And that is fine. The people that chose to make a statement and say that I want to be self-reliant in myself, what they do is they will organize together, growing groups together, and they will prepare even for biological warfare. Listen to what I'm saying. They will prepare even for biological warfare because they understand that it is a real threat. And I want to thank all the people around the country that are willing to do what it takes to prepare for any eventuality. Wow, we have over 700 people watching now. That is certainly a record for this channel. I want to thank all of you for coming on to this live stream. And I want you to share this video as far as you can. Because if you listen to what Bill Gates is saying to you now, he's laying down the gauntlet plainly and simply. He's laying it out for you. He's telling you your future. And he's telling the World Health Organization to prepare for it. That government should spend billions of rands in preparing for what is coming. Do you trust your government to do that for you? Do you trust your government and the people involved with them with anything that they are doing for you? Or will you trust yourself? If you trust yourself, become a part of the solution. Use your own mind, unprogram yourself from the schooling system you went to and the varsity system you went to, and prepare yourself for any eventuality. The solutions are there. The solutions are there. The next thing I want to tell you is that South Africa is the best place to be in the world at this time. There is no better place than South Africa. We are at the southern tip of Africa. We are the furthest away from Europe. We have a varied climate here. We have very hot and dry areas where biological weapons become null and void, where you can be safer and you can still have access to water and food and all the other things you need to survive. So I want you to think about your life, your family's life, your children's lives, your community, your extended family, your community's lives, and think, how will you work together in this future that Bill Gates has just laid out for you? People, this is not fear-mongering. If you don't want to take this seriously, live with the consequences. In South Africa, we can do a lot to survive any eventuality. Become a part of the solution on the ground. The time for beating up around the bush is over. It is over. And I am not going to entertain any beating around the bush on this channel anymore. It's pointless to me. Absolutely pointless. Knowing what I know, all the documentation I'm sitting with, all the information I have, and everything that I see happen in real time, I cannot ignore the fact that Bill Gates just gave us all a lifeline. And I hope that many people will see that, just like Adam Weishaupt, that realized what was actually happening and eventually lived in isolation away from the Bavarian Illuminati and everything they did, that Bill Gates will hopefully do the same and grab this lifeline that he's given us, this warning that he has put out, and start to see the people in government, in the ANC, in the EFF, and even in the DA that are putting out warnings for you when they are caught up in situations that's difficult for them to manage because their lives and their livelihoods are under threat. Read in between the scripts. There are so many cries for help being sent out around the world and within South Africa. And very soon, I will be laying those bare on ground zero. I've got my background prepared. I will put it up. And tomorrow, I will be able to start filming many of the videos that I've spoken of and show you how this is playing out around the world now. Everything that the committee of 300 members have told you, of which Prince Charles is the main spokesperson, when he tells you that things far worse than this pandemic will come and that the climate will be used as a reason for it, and then Bill Gates tells you the same thing after he had met with Prince Charles, take it seriously. Take it seriously. And maybe many of the things that you've stressed about in your lifetime will now fall to the side. Worrying about things that people are fear-mongering you on when there's no evidence for any of it, when these people are openly telling you what is going to happen. Prince Charles is the main spokesperson for the Committee of 300 because his mother is not fulfilling that function anymore. He is telling us what's going to happen. in plain and simple terms. Now, I don't know how I can put things to you in a more blunt and straightforward way. I'll put a link to this article in the description below this video so you can go and read it for yourself. But you must understand, I just used this article firstly because Sky News put it out there. If CNN did it, you would just say, oh, but that is just mainstream media propaganda. Once you actually see why someone says something, the reason behind it, and if you have other knowledge around the topic, around the circumference, that justifies a specific understanding, then you have a lot more impetus in saying what you are saying. And I believe I have that impetus today to make this statement to you. When they tell you that biowarfare will happen, you can bet your bottom dollar it's been prepared already. So are you ready for something like that? Are you prepared for something like that? I can tell you that most people are not. And you will get the normal DA stooges telling you, ah, no, it's just propaganda. It's just pie in the sky. The DA will sort out everything. Will they? They will remove your freedoms so that when that time comes, the perfect plan to put this new world order in place will just be rolled out with no resistance. Because this is the only reason why they are where they are right now. It's the only reason why the ANC is where they are right now, why the EFF is where they are right now, is because they will implement everything that is necessary for you to hand over all your freedom when the time comes. Wow, we have over 800 people watching now. I hope you understand the significance of what we are discussing today. If you do not, and you don't understand that you need to become a part of the resistance, become a part of the movement on the ground that is combating this global fight against humanity that'll end in human extinction. And a lot of people have said to me, but why would anyone do that? Why would anyone want to remove humanity from the earth? And I have a simple answer: that good and evil exists, and evil wants humanity to cease to exist on this planet. It's a straightforward answer. It's not rocket science, it's not complicated. And for people that don't believe in good and evil, wait and see. And then it will be made plain and clear to you. Hopefully, most people believe in good and bad. And I believe eradicating humans from this planet is a bad thing. And the movement to now make humans irrelevant is becoming stronger than ever. Young women are sterilizing themselves so that they cannot fall pregnant. Why? Because they say that humans are irrelevant. We should have never existed. We should not be on this planet. We need to be gone. There are humans propagating this. The brilliance of the plan to make a human. No animal would do this. No animal would say, let's bring ourselves into extinction. But evil knew that humans would be able to be convinced to eradicate themselves. Unbelievable, but true. And I will show you when I do many of the videos on Ground Zero on the drive for humanity to become extinct by humans, that the penny will start to drop, that this is not a figment of my imagination, that it's very real, that it's in the mainstream for a reason. A reason. Now you need to ask yourself, why did Fox News, CNN, Reuters, the Washington Post, etc., not cover this specific news in the way that Sky News did? Ask yourself that question. Why? Why did Sky News cover it the way that they did? Think about that. So I'll take some questions from you now. And I really want you, to me, it's a very sombering moment. not only to understand what's been planned for us, because we can try and circumnavigate that as much as possible, especially in South Africa. But the fact that we are seeing these things happening, I'm seeing the preparatory work for it done. I'm seeing the DA trying to put up cameras all over Cape Town. Bill Gates spoke about surveillance. Surveillance. He spoke about future vaccines that won't be injections, they'll just be patches. They'll be put on your arm and it'll become a part of normal life. Normal life. Understand what that means. Now I'm asking you, anyone that you supported during elections that is sitting in parliament or in local council right now, what are they going to do? What plan are they putting forward to circumnavigate this, to fight this? I'm asking you now, with tears in my eyes, what are they putting forward as a plan to safeguard you when this plays out? The answer is nothing. Nothing. They are going to do nothing for you. Nothing. Saying something and doing something is two very different things. And the first thing you need to know is that most of these movements, parties, civil organizations or whatever, they have no plan. None. They just have beliefs. The belief in freedom is not as important as the path to freedom, the plan to be more free, the plan to have a better democracy, the plan for us to be able to elect our representatives directly, to not have a government govern over us, for us to be government first, for us to be stronger than our police force, be stronger than our military, so that they can never have power over us, ever again. If we do not do these things, all of these institutions of government will be used against you to take your freedom away. The police service that you are paying tax money for, the military that you are paying tax money for, will be used against you to remove all your freedoms. And not the Freedom Front Plus, the ACDP, all of the other parties in Parliament, COPE, UDM, are going to do anything about it because they have no plan. None. No plan. That brings me to the last of the three things, secession. Secession is not a plan. You cannot run away from this global situation. It's not possible. How is living in Cape Town going to safeguard you against a bioweapon attack? Please tell me how. It is not. While people are fighting divisionist politics and all sorts of other nonsense, global leaders and people behind the scenes are planning the complete control and later extinction of the human race. And it's being played out now in the mainstream media of the world. The fact that the family as a core unit should not exist anymore. The fact that we are not males or females anymore. Our new ID books in South Africa will not classify us as male or female in future. In school, you will not be able to participate against a male or female in sport. In future, you can identify as whatever you want as a young child. And from the age of 12, a parent will have no jurisdiction over their child whatsoever. None. This is our constitution. And this is why we need to change it. So just understand one very important thing. If you want to be a part of the solution, join the solution. Become a part of the solution. Invite family and friends to become a part of the solution. The solution is the resistance, the symbol for resistance on the ground, having large groups of people organized, trained, that have planned to face any eventuality. This is key. Now, you don't have to do this. People can do whatever they want because I believe in liberty first, and then they can face the consequences. Someone said to me earlier that it's terrible to see so many people losing their jobs due to mandates. I told people in last year that there is nothing in the Constitution that protects you or gives you a right to a job. When people are telling you that you have a right to this and you have a right to that, that's nonsense. Because our Constitution tells any politician that they have a right for the greater good of society to remove every right that you are given in that Constitution. You can tear that thing up and throw it in the rubbish bin because it means absolutely nothing. And that is why we need to write a new Constitution with values and principles where family is acknowledged, where sex is acknowledged, male and female, where community is acknowledged. This is vital for the survival of humanity. And South Africa is where we can make that stand and we can set an example for the rest of the world to go out there and prove to them that we are unique. Because firstly, we believe in family. The majority of South Africans believe in family. We believe in male and female. We believe in mother, father, uncle, aunt, grandmother, grandfather, brother and sister. We believe in that still. We are not going to allow any idiot in the DA top 10 to come and dictate to us that that is not a reality, or within the ANC or within the EFF. We believe in families. And I don't care how your family is constituted, but we believe in family. A society is built on family. That is why families have to be broken down. And these threats that Bill Gates just made, he didn't make direct threats. He told us what is happening. Breaks down the family unit. If you are prepared, you shall not fear, and you will be able to continue with your life. All people should be prepared for any eventuality. All people will not do this. That is fine. I'm trying to find those that will, because the only way I can protect my wife and my kids is by having more people that want to protect theirs. We cannot do it on our own. I need you to want and to do the same. It was so awesome meeting with more than 40 other OMIs, people that know what it's going to take, and talk to them openly, and them having discussions with each other and just gathering together in safety and knowing what it's going to take to fight any eventuality in future. So I implore you, become a part of the solution, because if you do not, I cannot help you, and the government certainly will not help you. Bill Gates said very clearly, and to me it's the most telling thing, and he's absolutely right because he understands human psychology. And I think it'll find fertile ground because, we lost trillions of dollars and millions of lives, and citizens expect their governments not to let it happen again. They don't expect themselves or their communities or their families, their governments. What is he telling you? He's giving you another hint. He's giving you another clue that the plan was always to make you reliant on your government so that you are dependent on them. You don't have to be. Hundreds of years ago, people were not reliant on their governments for survival. Their governments taxed them, but they were not reliant on their governments for survival. The 5 things you need for survival, you did not need from the government. I really want to thank you for coming into this live stream now. Hi, Patrick. Thanks for joining this channel. Welcome as a new member. We have over 800 channel members, and we're on our way to 900 channel members. I really want to thank you for being willing to fight this fight on the ground. Because if any of you did not understand what I said, or if you're new to this channel, go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series of videos. If you have not yet, once you've watched them, you will understand where my knowledge base comes from. It'll make a lot more sense. And for those of you that haven't subscribed to Ground Zero yet, please subscribe to Ground Zero. I have my background ready. I'll drag it into picture right now so you can see it. So I just need to hang that background up, and then that will be a familiar background for you when I do the Ground Zero videos. It's for the international market out there, for the rest of the world, to become a critical mass of critical thinkers, actually understanding what we are facing. Because we need to learn to question small little things that we do every single day. And if you think of what Bill Gates said, with how we allow government to control our lives by us being dependent on them, he has just told you that what has been created is a sheep society where we just have to follow the next and the next and the next person. If you ask people why they voted for the ANC, the DA, or the EFF, most of them won't be able to tell you. A lot of them will tell you it's to keep the ANC out if they voted DA. If it's the EFF, it's because I want land. If it's for the ANC, it's because I don't want the ANC, the DA or the EFF in power, because the DA might bring back apartheid. It's divisionist politics. It is toxic. Why do people support toxicity like that? Why? It's because it's planned. Because all three of the top parties in government will not give you any freedom. They will promise you the world, but none of them speak about individual liberty. When last have you heard the president speak about your freedom? When last have you heard John Steenhuisen speak about your freedom? When last have you heard Julius Malema speak about your freedom? They are not interested in your freedom. They want power over you. And hopefully, if you comprehend what that power over you means to them, you'll find out that these people are psychopaths. Just like many people that are employed in the police force right now. I'm not talking about the normal good police officers out there. Psychopaths that will attack vulnerable girls on the street and try and do advances on them. That will attack old ladies and women. What kind of man does something like that? You have to be a psychopath to do that. You should rather resign than do anything of that kind. But this is what a society like this that we live in, where you should become so disconnected from being human that you don't think anything of it to take a baton and hit a woman over the head or shoot a woman with a rubber bullet. That means nothing to you. Because the woman didn't want to get into your unmarked police car where you would probably end up raping her. This is a society that we live in. So how do we change that society? You first need information. Once you have information, like the information that Bill Gates has just given you, you need to decide what to do with that information. I can just give you my perspective. I can't do anything more than that. I'm not going to stand up there and run for council or parliament or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you my perspective as Double Odes on history as well as the future. And then you can decide if my perspective is right or wrong. It's your choice. I can tell you that Donald Trump is not going to save the world. That the entire Q movement is a psyop. I can tell you many things because Donald Trump never said he was going to save the world. And I believe him, not Q. This is not rocket science, people. We have become so obsessed with fake news that we perceive it to be truth. So the last bit of advice I want to give you before I end this live stream, it's almost an hour now, is that don't send anything on that you cannot verify yourself. See it only as information. If someone that serves on the committee of 300, for those of you that are channel members, if someone on the committee of 300 says something in public, they mean it. Okay, take it seriously. So when Bill Gates makes these statements, go and read this article. The link will be in the first comment below the video, as well as in the description below the video. Go and read it yourself. Then go and find what Prince Charles said about this pandemic being nothing compared to what is coming. The organic humanity movement is not doing what it's doing for political gain. Politics is completely and utterly irrelevant. And that is what the OM is trying to do, is make politics irrelevant. We need to empower citizens to be their own government and then elect representatives to represent them in a completely newly defined form of government. This is vital. We have to change the constitution. We have to change the electoral system and implement direct elections where we elect our leaders directly, so that we can first have the first purer form of democracy in South Africa, so that other countries can follow their example. Other countries need to follow our example, because it will protect us more if there are critical masses of people around the world that think critically and understand what is happening to us. So let me read this headline again for those that came in later. What Bill Gates said. Bill Gates warns of bioterrorist attacks and urges world leaders, not government leaders, world leaders, to use germ games to prepare, in an interview that he had with Jeremy Hunt. What do you think these germ games are going to look like? What do you think this special pandemic task force, he says the World Health Organization needs to implement, what is that going to look like? And what are these war games? Just like war games, you're going to have germ games. What are they going to look like? And he says it's going to cost $1 billion a year for a pandemic task force at the World Health Organization level, which is doing the surveillance and actually doing what I call germ games, where you practice, he said, doing surveillance. Think what that means. This is a task force, a pandemic task force doing surveillance on you. And you want these cameras installed where? All around you. That's watched by who? Artificial intelligence. That is doing what with the information? Anyway, I'll stop the conversation there. If you have any questions, please let me know what those questions are. Thank you so much for, at this stage, I've not received enough funds to travel to KZN and Gauteng. Just to, I see some people talking about the Freedom SA events. I need to be able to travel to KZN as well as Gauteng. I've received 50 Rand in donation, in addition to what we already have in the account. The last meeting that I had cost me over 3,000 Rand. So, yeah, I need to, if if I can't get there, I would literally have to live stream to there. I mean, I won't have any other option. So the only way to join you at this stage, for safety, I was planning on traveling with my family, but that cannot happen anymore. So I would need to fly there to spend time with you, and I would really love to do that. So I will be looking at tickets tomorrow and finalizing everything. So hopefully we can get sufficient funds in the Freedom SA bank account to do that. Remember, these events are not about me. It cannot be about me. Nothing that we do can be about me. It has to be about each individual. It has to be about people gathering together because they want to be with each other and spend time together in freedom. And I want to spend time together with you. So, yeah. Yes, James says 300 against 7 billion humans for the good of on the planet. Do I need to say more? We are in the majority, and with God on our side, if God is for us, who can be against us? James, it's a very straightforward statement to make. You know, there's so many of us on the planet. So what these world leaders had to do is create a society where we had to believe that we needed a job to survive. That's the first thing that needed to happen. Then consumerism needed to be put in place so that we believed that we needed our jobs to consume all the time, to consume things that we wouldn't have normally had. With that came convenience and many other things. It made people lazy. It's like a vicious circle, and this story of the Sheikh of Dubai, which is not actually him. It's an old story that is attributed to him, speaks of uh, the circle of life, where men create convenience because of the hardship they lived in. Then the men that are born into convenience. They become lazy, they become useless. That causes extreme hardship because they break down everything. Now, most of the men today couldn't build a house, knock a house together, build a car, or anything like that. It's being done by robots. Houses are being built by bricklaying teams. And if you actually see when these skills fall away and those skills don't exist anymore, what are you going to do? Now, these world leaders are planning for that. That is why smart cities will be built for people to live in. And all that will happen is our children will transition into those cities. And in those cities, you will literally be caught up in this big brother system where you are monitored morning, noon, and night. And Bill Gates is already telling you that this task force will do surveillance. He's telling it to you. He's not saying anything else. He's saying it straight. So when the DA puts up cameras all over the place, or Neil de Beer wants to put up cameras all over Somerset West because of crime, what you need to ask yourself is, what is the root cause of the crime? Society, it's us. So when you go and put up cameras because of what we have done, that's really pathetic. We should fix us, and you won't need cameras at all. You won't need cameras in society. You can have cameras at your house, at your business, or wherever else. It's a very handy tool. But the moment you start surveilling the public in their cars, their license plates, you look at their faces, you look at what's inside the cars, as many of these cameras are doing at the robots in Cape Town, you need to ask yourself, why? Where is that camera feed going? And why am I allowing that to happen to myself? And you really need to ask those questions. So I really want to thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave you now. I want you to go and read this article. And I want you to understand what my father told me many years ago and how it is perfectly aligned with what Bill Gates just warned you with. And this is why I have to tell you that Bill Gates is giving you a lifeline here. This is him giving you a lifeline. Take it or leave it. Thank you very much for watching. I really want to thank all of you for being on the ground, part of this movement, making it possible for us to literally forge a way forward, because we need numbers. We need big numbers. And I've done the maths. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see the people in KZN as well as in Gauteng. I'm going to have to fly up, so I need to book tickets to get to both. And yeah, it's a pity that I won't be able to be with my family, but for the safety of my family right now, it is the right thing to do under the circumstances. There's a lot of attention on Lauren right now, things I can't discuss with you in public. So yes, Marie Kruger, die 20ste is ons in Gauteng in Muldersdrift. So 20th, I'm in KwaZulu-Natal on the 13th. Not just me, we are all gathering together in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, and I will be having a discussion with the host tomorrow and finalizing everything. things have to be done last minute for many reasons, for safety and many other reasons. These elections have brought attention to the movement on the ground. The success of the movement, I think, has shocked many, and they cannot see it anymore as something that is small and insignificant. Definitely not, because of what we are standing for, which is opposite to everything else that you're seeing in Parliament or in Council right now. The complete and utter opposite. Hi, Jay. Welcome as a new member. It's really awesome to have you here. And I'm going to be booking my tickets probably tomorrow or Tuesday to fly up to KZN. So someone's going to have to pick me up at the airport and get me to the venue. But I'll iron out the finer details. I haven't decided how they would happen yet. We were going to travel up by car as a family, but I've had to decide against that. Lauren's got a very important meeting on Wednesday, and then I want my family to remain safe. So thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing you people. Yeah. I don't want you to be scared of what I've said or to be frightened. What I want you to do is to jump into action, okay? There's so much that we can do to circumnavigate many of the threats that's being put out there in the world. We can isolate ourselves from that as South Africa as much as possible, and even in Africa. And we will survive anything they throw at us. I can guarantee you that. In South Africa, we will survive anything that these world leaders can throw at us. So that is really good news. Thanks, Yureta. If you can fetch me to the airport, that'll be awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining into the live stream. And soon you'll be able to look forward to another interview on Ground Zero, and then some of the videos that I'll be producing. The first interview I'll be doing will be with the Promethean, but I will be doing other videos in the meantime, so I will keep you posted. So please do subscribe to the channel Ground Zero. We had over 660 subscribers. We need to get that up to 1,000 as soon as we can. And then I'm really going to load the content. We almost have 2,000 watch hours on there. That's really incredible. For only one video, that's unbelievable what you've done. Yes, Ruth, don't be scared. Be prepared, people. Really. Thank you so much for watching. We just have just over 700 people watching now. And thank you so much for watching this. Please share the video. Thanks for liking this video. And yes, decide for yourself what you want to do with the information that you are receiving. Those of you that haven't been to OOD's meetings, please watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series and make sure that you understand and comprehend what I'm speaking about. If you're not sure, then email me, contact me, and then we can have a chat and I can clarify things for you. I would love to do that for you. Thank you so much. Have a good day further. Okay. Jureta, ek sal kontak maak met jou. Keep well. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm going to give you a link to Ground Zero just now so that you can get onto Ground Zero. I'll give you that link straight away. Let me just log into the channel so that you can go and subscribe quickly. And then I also want you to go and support. Okay, we have 741 people on Ground Zero now. Wow, that has climbed quite a lot. I really want to thank you for doing that. That's really awesome. I'll give you the link to Ground Zero now so that you can go and subscribe to the channel. 742 subscribers now. Here comes the link. And thanks for being part of the largest live stream ever. We had over 800 people watching. That's by far the largest group of people that I've had. Yes, if you can like the video, it helps with the algorithms. I have let this channel's algorithms go right down to rock bottom to restart them again. So from tomorrow, I'll be back up to full speed. But I have literally only done live streams on this channel now for the past week. And I did that for a reason. So I really want to thank you for coming onto this live stream. It was great to see so many people on here. The link to the article, I'll give it to you now as well here in the stream. Here it is. But I'll put it in the first comment. There you go. So there's a link to the article. I will put it in the first comment as well as in the description below this video. Okay. Isaiah, hi. We'll chat with you through email. Awesome. Please email me in the description below my videos. Also, go and join the Telegram channel. There's 2 Telegram channels. The first one, which is the main official one, and then the second one that's linked to that, where all the Days channel members communicate with each other. All the only focus there is for us to become as self-reliant as possible so that we can fight this global threat. Okay. It's there for no other reason. We need to change the political system in the country, and we need to prepare the citizens of the country. Those are the 2 main things that we need to do. And we had huge success in the last local government elections. And, with only 1,400 members to get 6,891 votes with no mainstream exposure is unbelievable. It's really incredible. Hi, Annelies. Oh, welcome as a member. So thanks so much for joining in. And I will see you on Thursday in the members live chat. If you join the channel, then every Thursday I do a members live chat where I give you a lot of detail. Once you become a member, you can go and watch all the past membership videos. So they're all there for you to watch. Go and watch all the live streams. I cover a lot of things in those videos, a lot of things that are very important for you to understand. My icon of piano. Patrick, my icon a piano? No. Ground Zero. No, the Ground Zero icon is not a piano. I don't know why that is. There's a Ground Zero link. So you can follow that link to Ground Zero, and then you can go and subscribe. Let me just see quickly. No, I've just grown by over 40 people. I have 777 subscribers right now. So 777 subscribers. That's really an awesome number. So yeah, there's another link to the channel. It's really special when I see 777 for Ground Zero. And there you can see the background behind me. I still need to hang it. But behind me, you will see something that Cecile Taston got for me, the candidate in the Vryheid area. Vryheid got so many votes for one candidate and a couple of own members. It's a really special community out there in Vryheid. And she got that for me, this anchor with Des on it. And I told you that in future, I'll be using a different camera, so you'll see it better. That the pointers on there will mean something. Okay. The pointers on there will mean something. I don't know if you're able to actually see where it's pointed at right now. But if you think of the doomsday clock and you look at it today, then you'll see we're not in such a bad place. We are 11:45 on that clock at the moment. Okay. Yes, Will It Fly SA, please, people, go and support Will It Fly SA. It's an initiative to help expose the globalist threats to the country, and especially how they are involved in subverting everything that we're doing. So many of you have already gone and joined, and you should please go and join the channel. If you can just, I will paste the link. Actually, you can paste the link. I've just made you a moderator. So Dev Jonah, you're a moderator now, so you should be able to post the link yourself. If you can just do that. Okay. Yeah, Warren, Ruth, thanks a lot for coming in, Dalian. No sound. There's bad weather. I'm so sorry, but maybe you can watch it later. Okay. But we still have over 500 people in this live stream. I'm so surprised that so many people came in. Yes, saw the Will It Fly new video. It was awesome. I shared it everywhere. People, please go and support Dev Jonah. We had misunderstandings in the beginning, and the beauty is that because he was really interested in understanding what I mean, we spoke to each other, and then everything was resolved. So there's a lot of misunderstandings around many things. It's important that we communicate properly with each other, because these are sensitive times. People are on edge. Things are things are tough. A lot of people will be giving up their jobs not to get vaccinated if they choose to do so. And like I said, I am not an anti-vaxxer, but I won't take any vaccine on the world market right now. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust the companies involved. I don't trust the governments involved. I would have to be involved in the manufacturing of a vaccine myself before I would even slightly consider taking it. So I would have to be the manufacturer. There you have it. Okay. Otherwise, there's no, yes, bitter einders, Jureta. I hope you have, oh, yes, you have a large vehicle. So, you must just tell me if you're going through on the Friday or on the Saturday. So we start officially at 3 o'clock. But yeah, so in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, the 13th, KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, I'm still trying to decide how to put the information to the venue out there because I don't want to just put it out in the public. So I might have to create a group or put it out in a group. Go and join. For everyone that wants to go, they go and join the Telegram channel. I'll put it out on the Telegram channel. The information, I'll put the link on both Telegram channels for the event. Okay, that'll be the best. Patrick, there's a lot of good news for South Africa. The first big good news for South Africa is the fact that we are geopolitically positioned in a perfect spot. We're at the southern tip of Africa, so we are far removed from many of the conflicts that will happen in the world. We are also key to the fact that many other countries became superpowers off our back. They needed our minerals. So strategically, mineral-wise, we are very important. And because sea routes, when the Suez Canal wasn't built, people came past the southern tip of Africa, so that was very, very important. South Africa has been key to many of the things that's happened in the world. The fact that someone like Jan Smuts literally created the concept, a strong concept for this new world order being created, which is us. We are the order. There's no organization that's the new world order. There's an organization trying to implement the new order amongst us. And Jan Smuts called this holism, being completely whole. And what that does is take all your freedom away. It's the Bavarian Illuminati on steroids, okay? So he understood Bavarian Illuminati doctrine intricately, and he knew that you needed to create first the League of Nations and then the United Nations to create this pool of places where you are starting to control governments worldwide to a place where you can later get to a one world government, a one world leader, and a one world religion. And this is the end goal, plain and simple. It's not rocket science. And if you see how you need to choose what side you want to be on, it's like the video on Double O Days, the intro video that says, what side of history will you be on? On the side of the greater good ideology, which was aligned with the Bavarian Illuminati, or individual liberty, which is what you are born with, the freedom to make choices. Now, freedom comes with consequences. I mean, if you choose to steal from someone, that person is going to do something and they should have a right to do that. That is their freedom to serve justice on what you have done to them. So freedom comes with consequences, but you should always be free to do something. In this new world that Bill Gates is describing, you will not have freedom because you will be permanently surveilled in the name of the threat of terror. Imagine the whole world is saying a bio attack is imminent. We should all be ready for it all the time. You should not do it because of your government, because they will implement hectic measures on you for that threat. If we prepare ourselves for any eventuality, and we are prepared for that at all times, we are the government. And this is vital. We need to do this in numbers. I hope you understand what I just said. Do not allow the government to be what is preparing you for these bio attacks. Because a bio attack can happen at any time. A government can get complete control over your life because of that threat. Think about the power it puts into their hands. Do not fall for it, people. We need to prepare ourselves for any eventuality, including a bio attack. Then we are the government. Just remember, there is no one person above the law, but we are the law. Us, the people, we are the law. That is what common law is. It is what we decide will fly. And that is why I like Will It Fly SA. Will you let it fly? Yeah, absolutely. Bill is buying up a lot of land. Amazon is buying up a lot of land. You need to ask yourself why. So, Will It Fly? Have you posted a link to your channel? Please post a link to your channel. I know I'm subscribed to your channel, so I can quickly go and find it. Let me just get it quickly. Okay, Ground Zero now has 811 people on it. There we go. Will It Fly SA? Let me quickly. You've got 174 subscribers. Hopefully, you'll have a lot more after I post the link here. Okay, there's a link to Will It Fly SA. And I really want to thank you so much for making those videos, putting in the effort to make them, because we need to create awareness for people. I want you to do the one on Pfizer. That's really special. I don't know if they're going to block that one, but I don't believe so, because you are just showing the obvious. Yeah, nothing can stop us now. Absolutely. So yes, there's your links to Let It Fly. Please let that channel grow. To have collaborations like this is important. It's important that one individual doesn't try and hold power over everything. We need lots of people that are becoming leaders in their own right. And it's just awesome that Dev Jono is willing to go out there and create these videos, spend the time. And I really want you to go and support them. I see the last videos had 408 views. We really need to escalate that, share the videos. It shows the hypocrisy. And for the people that can't see through it, they have the problem, because those that know, it'll be straightforward. The first video's got 1,100 views already, which is stunning, but not enough subscribers. Please go and subscribe to the channel. There's 188 subs now. Let's get it to 500 quickly. There we have 196. Awesome. Let's get it cracking, people. So go and support Let It Fly SA. Will It Fly? It's such a stunning name. Let your freak fly means. Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. This has really been an awesome live stream. I'm not used to so many people in the live stream. We normally max out at around 300 people. So to have had 800 is really incredible. Yes, Bitcoin is part of the agenda. Absolutely. Just remember, to control our money completely, you will see that the central banks needs to get a way to monitor every cent you spend. And as long as you have fiat currency or cash, you cannot be monitored completely. So these world leaders that Bill Gates speaks of, they need to make sure that you do not have fiat currency available anymore. Even although fiat currency has no real value because it's backed by nothing, it's still used as legal tender. And people are willing to take it in exchange for goods. However, once you are in the blockchain only, every transaction you do can be monitored, tracked, and traced, and you are screwed forever. So, yeah, it's really brilliant to say that this is the decentralization. You create the central banks, and then you create Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies, not all of them, but Bitcoin especially. You call yourself Satoshi Nakamoto, and Bob's your uncle. You have a whole lot of people jumping on the bandwagon, a whole lot of people making a lot of money, and a whole lot of people losing every single cent. Now that you have Bitcoin, you can literally make the poorest person that can invest, that has a cell phone that can connect to the internet, you can take all the money too. Imagine the massive extra access you have to the wealth of the world that you couldn't get through the normal stock market. You can now access through Bitcoin. It's a stroke of genius, and it's the best way to siphon the last pennies out of even the poorest people trying to increase a 10 Rand to 20 Rand. Okay. Yes, absolutely, Hardy. There are many other coins that are a solution. Bitcoin, if people want to invest in Bitcoin, you can generate massive income if you know how to play it. If you don't know it, you will lose all your funds. So you can literally lose 90% of people lose everything. There's 10% that actually generate an income. So there are many uh, cryptocurrencies that are different, like XRP and many of the others out there, which is actually something the reserve banks use to transfer fiat currency, which is fascinating. So it's the only thing I've ever invested in is XRP, and I did that to get to know the crypto market really well. And I spent about 2 or 3 months doing it. I doubled my initial investment and removed it. I haven't done any of that now in a very long time because I learned how the bots work in the system. I learned how the whales work in the system. So I can probably give a lecture on cryptocurrency and how it's been designed perfectly to extract every last cent out of your pocket. So, yes, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to say goodbye now and go and join my family. We need to finish up the last, well, the last bit of training, the modules, get them done for all the Omis on here. So thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, it's a lot of work ahead. So my family will not be traveling with me to KwaZulu-Natal and to Gauteng. I will be flying up, and yeah, so I will appreciate any help in getting me there. Um, yeah, I'll I'll spend my last funds literally if I have to. I just hope we can survive the month. But this YouTube community, the channel community, sustains us as a family. Now, for a family of six, that amount of funds is tiny. It's really small, but we have been able to survive. The last event, the launch of Ground Zero, it knocked me a bit because we didn't raise all the funds for the venue. The venue was 12,000 rand. I'm really glad that we got that venue, but I only managed to raise 8,900 rand for the venue, so we were a bit short. And I didn't expect that because that is basically plane tickets to KZN and back. But yeah, we will always make it. There's always a way. I believe it. And thanks, Joretta, for being willing to come and fetch me at the airport. I really can't wait to see you people. It's so important for us to be there. Thank you, Ruth. Looking forward to seeing you in Gauteng. And that'll be in Mulder's Drift. Like I said, the actual venue, the links I will only put in the WD's, the Telegram channels. And you can find those links in the description below this video. You will find the links to both Telegram channels there. And then when Odyssey reaches 1,000, I will start doing specific videos for Odyssey as well. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks to those of you that have made donations. I only receive them later, but it certainly will help. It all makes a difference. Thank you so much. And you must have an awesome weekend further. Thank you for joining me. It's been an hour and a half now. My throat is dry. But I hope you understand how important this message was and take it to heart and join the resistance on the ground, the resistance against evil. Thank you very much. Till the next video.